All right, welcome back, everybody. So we have seen So make it all the way to right side, and no big key yet. The big key was, in fact, behind Ice Armos. Um, Bull right was the play today.
And it looks like Hyrule did also find Gold Sword somewhere along the way.
Yeah, So got it as well. So was it Bob's chest? I was missing it.
I couldn't tell you. Bob's chest, according to the chat. Thank you.
All right, so all we have left for our two runners in the lead is the Aga climb, but Hyruler moving through these rooms very quickly, not leaving a lot of space for So to catch up. And with the gold sword and the silver arrows, not a lot of wiggle room to gain time by execution on Ganon either. And pointing out that in chat, that's a great point, that this climb is one of the most execution, I'll just steal your phrase, execution heavy segments in the game. And I certainly don't doubt that So is able to make up a lot of time here. Just pointing out that Hyrule not making a ton of mistakes. So putting himself very low on magic. And with the small magic pot right here, plenty of magic to get the 4 torches lit. We'll need to grab this full magic in the pot up here, though. And we have Hyruler into the Aga 2 fight with a double.
Another double.
Another double.
Nice. Triple double.
Birdie Aga 2 fight from Hyruler.
Very well done.
So is giving us the Moldorm 2 hover. And So has certainly made up a good amount of time here, coming into Aga 2 right as Hyruler drops into the Ganon fight. This could certainly be decided by a missed cycle or two, or a fall. And So already done with the Aga 2 fight. right behind. Yeah, pretty major mistake would have to occur here. This is certainly High Ruler's match to win at this point. Oh, but that is how it would happen. But fortunately, not getting pushed into the pit there by the fire bat.
Yep, those fire bats are evil.
If you ever do get caught by one of those fire bats, neutral the D-pad immediately because you get pushed in the opposite direction from the direction on the D-pad you're holding, and it is intentionally done that way to cause you to fall. But get your GGs in chat for High Ruler. All he has to do is beat the bridge boss, and he will be our winner on the restream at 1. Let me get you an official race time
1 hour,
here.
39 minutes, and 26 seconds.
All right, and
that just happened, indeed.
And that makes High Ruler first place on the restream and 4th place overall. Very good time. And so right behind him, finishing up the Ganon fight. Just there it is. And get your GGs in chat for So, who will also be finishing up. Just has to cross this bridge. With an official race time of 1 hour 40 minutes and 14 seconds. 2nd place on the restream and 6th place overall. GG's So.
That was well done in a very horrifying feat.
We've got Adalor finishing up the Trinex fight, and Deep Fried making their way through Turtle Rock as well. So the other 2 runners on our restream won't be too far behind. Adalor collecting his 7th crystal. And we will be joined in the booth momentarily. Get some commentary on this seed from the runners. All right, and we see Adalor into Ganon's Tower, going Hope Room first. Grabbing the small key and continuing on to the right. We'll see if we get the full right straight through to Armos from Adalor. It's not a common strategy, but it could be done.
Welcome, High Ruler. GG on that feed.
GG's High Ruler. We're joined by High Ruler in the booth.
Hi.
GG's.
Yeah, thanks. GG's.
That feed was well, it happened.
Well, it worked out good for me, that's for sure. I got lucky. I was doing my best to avoid going into either mire or ice, and ended up that was the play this time, so kind of got lucky.
Yeah, heading back up to when you were heading back up to clean up Ether Tablet, we were all sort of crossing our fingers that you'd head into Hera Basement next, because we knew from the other runners that was just about all that was left for you.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because Fire Rod ended up being in there. Yeah, I figured I'd lump those 2 checks together. At that point, I was like, well, if it's in ice or mire, I mean, my time's going to be horrible, so it's got to be somewhere else for me to even have a decent chance. So
It was
yeah.
very well played. I have to ask. So we were sort of commenting about uh, discussing back and forth how it's really hard to play the seed and not feel like you're behind. And someone in chat was pointing out that you know that fire rod location is so bad that pretty much everybody's going to last location it. How did you feel when you found the fire rod? Was it a moment of relief or was it a moment of oh god, who got here before me?
It was more a moment of relief for me because I figured if anybody did the Tower of Hera when I did it, then they wouldn't have had a fire source more than likely, because Lamp was in Spike Cave. So I was pretty certain that if anybody got it before me, it wasn't going to be a huge deal, especially since I still didn't know where Red Cane was.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And then you followed that logic straight to Green Pendant, uh, and then you were in go mode. Did you consider for a moment after finding Ice Rod dipping into Mire or Ice, or was your mind pretty much made up you were going to go clean up Skull Woods as soon as you saw that Fire Rod?
So I was debating between Mire and Skullwoods. That was going to be my play. If it wasn't in Skullwoods, or Green Pennant, I was gonna head over to Mire first before Ice.
Is that true?
I mean,
Sorry,
Ice.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Ice is just so bad without Red Cane. It's just so much slower, and I'm not as good at the bomb jump anymore because I've been doing Icebreaker so much. So I foolishly did Ice first yesterday, and I lost I had a horrible time because of it. So my play was going to be Mire today.
Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. And your route worked out really well for you. We were a little worried for you when you went. So it was interesting. Right after Village of Outcasts, you went north, and So went south. And so picked up those mitts very early, and So's route ended up working out really well because the mitts led to Mire Shed, which led to the bow, which let So do Eastern and Pod in one trip, first visit. And then you were pretty much neck and neck for a while there, and then as soon as you were the first one with the fire rod, and suddenly you had a pretty commanding lead.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because I was worried when I found the mitts in K45, and thank goodness I went there before. I was actually going to go check a couple other places first, but I'm like, no, I have very few places left. I kind of orphaned K45. I want to take my chance with that and see, because if it ends up being there, it's going to be really bad. So I just kind of got lucky that I ended up checking. I'm debating on whether I'm going to keep doing Hype Cave to Dig Game, because unless I have Mirror, because I mean that ended up costing me a lot of time today.
Yeah, I mean it's a move that makes sense when your Dark World access is Gloves and Hammer. You knock out those 6 checks pretty quickly. It just turned out that today with the mirror being where it was, going straight to Village of Outcasts worked out better. But I don't think any of our runners did that. I think everybody went Hype Cave first.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I picked North Dark World instead of South, is because I'd already cleared out so many checks that way. So
yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, that would have affected my decision. I would have gone South. So yeah,
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I honestly feel like I got lucky quite a few times. But I played well, so at least my execution was pretty good, except for in Turtle Rock. I don't know what happened on my controller, but when I went on the torch room, I don't know what happened, but I went south.
That's right. Yeah, we noticed that. Okay, so that was a phantom input, not a oops, I have the hook shot.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I was like, "Why am I going south?" So
yeah, fair enough.
You
were
also all
also
of us.
absolutely, and it's interesting because I'm realizing now that being late to the mitts actually might have been what ended up saving you, because you were the first person to Spike Cave by a long time. And I think it was because what was your thinking when you went to Spike Cave? Because I have to imagine you were still looking for bow or mitts.
Yeah, I was just hoping for anything in there. When I found lamp, I was actually kind of disappointed because, I mean, it kind of gave me an idea of where some things might be, but it was disappointing because at that point I had already cleared pod, which is, basically what lamp is the most helpful for. I mean, at least I had it for turtle rooms. But I already cleared out checking pods, so I was a little bit disappointed actually when I found the lamp. So
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw that lamp and went, "Oop, that's the game." But
yeah,
you put fire rod in the worst possible location, and suddenly, yeah, that's the game. That's the thing that made the difference.
yeah. I mean, it allowed me to do desert though, so I guess that's something. Once I found the mitts, so that was kind of fortunate. But other than being able to do desert and being able to do mire, I don't know. At the time that I found the lamp, I was like, oh, geez, like, it's not what I wanted. That's at least not what I was hoping for.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone could argue that the right, quote unquote, right play at that point is to immediately save and quit back to the mountain and go back up and clean up Hera basement.
Oh, no. Yeah, that would have been a horrible play. Yeah. So.
All right, well, it worked out well for you. GG's.
Yeah, I waited until I found book, and that's when I was like, kind of my thinking was, if I find a reason to go back up to the mountain to check Hera basement, then I will. But otherwise, yeah, it could have gone bad because that would have been my last location if I hadn't found book.
Yeah. As soon as you can loop in a second check, suddenly it feels a lot less gross. It still feels gross, but it feels a lot less gross to head up there for something.
Yeah, and again, the only reason I did that was just because I wanted to avoid the 2 pendants. If it had been any other situation, I probably wouldn't have done that. So, yeah, honestly, I got very lucky. At the start, I was feeling really good when I got Dark World access almost immediately. I went straight up to Mountain.
Yeah, I think you had. I think we called it at a 33-minute mini Moldorm cave check or something like that.
Yeah, and I was debating. I was like, should I just skip South Shore? Because at this point, if there is progression there, that's bad because that means everybody got to it first. But I ended up doing it just to make sure it wasn't progression.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense, right? Because it's not like you were off doing things that other people weren't going to do eventually, anyhow, right? It was you didn't, even if there had been progression there, the only thing that could have really hurt you if it had been there is mitts, right? Because then you could have done Dark Death Mountain in one go.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. I'm like, if I had skipped it, I actually would have saved some time, but not a tremendous amount. But I would have saved some time. But it's, when you're in the moment and you're still looking for progression and your options are getting slimmer, it's tough to make calls. And that's a lot of checks because you got Dam and Mini Moldorm Cave, so that's 7 checks right there. So it seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, and the one little piece of mercy in this seed was that the item on Green Pendant was the cane, right? It wasn't Ice Rod or, so at the end of the day, it did save all the runners from being baited into double dipping Turtle Rock or, full clearing Mire. Well, I suppose you wouldn't have cleared Mire anyway because both items were in the front, but there could have been worse items to be locked behind Fire Rod, locked behind Lamp in Spike Cave.
The other nice thing is I didn't even have to check pedestal because I already knew with Red Cane being my last item. Well, obviously it can't be because Mire's a pendant, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Head as well. So yeah, it's kind of nice because if the Red Cane location and the Ice Rod location had been flipped, that would have been pretty nasty. It would have left a lot more options.
Yeah, and we were in Fire Rod Samaria Go mode for a while. So Ped was dead early on, which I'm sure contributed to your decision to not spend any time committing to pendant dungeons.
Yeah. I don't know. That's been the way I've been playing for a while. Unfortunately, it sometimes ends up kind of working out against me when I try to avoid penance the entire time, but today it actually worked out. So
Yeah,
I think
I don't know if you were as shocked as I was that Fire Rod was not locked behind Bombos and Ice Palace, because it seems to always turn out that way, but worked out for you this time.
yeah, that's why I was getting a little nervous because, like you said, Bombos was already in play as well, so it could have been anywhere at that point. So
All right, and we're seeing wrapping up on Ganon from Adalor. So get your GGs in chat for Adalor.
All he has to do is defeat the bridge boss, and he will finish this race. Third place on Restream, 12th place overall, with an official time of 1 hour 52:13.
And getting pretty close to an Oops All dungeon there, so that's a good time.
Yeah.
Just one off.
When I saw my finish time compared to everybody else, that's what made me feel good. Because I was like, oh, I actually finished close to, some of the better runners, so I felt good.
Yeah, you were right behind Gem, only off by a minute or two. Very close to that podium finish.
Yeah, I'm guessing, like you said, it's probably Fire Rod that threw everybody off. So
Yeah, that Fire Rod was buried forever. The Ice Rod showed up relatively early, which is a little surprising. Usually we find that the Ice Rod is the Johnny come lately, but not this seed.
yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to take off. I want to get something to eat. So, but thanks for having me on for commentary, or not commentary, but to talk about it.
Thanks for racing for us.
Yeah. Well, I love a link to the past randomizer, so.
GG's, High Roller. Thanks for coming in.
Yep. Bye.
All right, and we're seeing Deep Fried.
Well, we're seeing snapshots of Deep Fried.
Yeah. As someone pointed out in chat, we've got a PowerPoint mode activated for Deep Fried, but we are making progress, dropping into the Ganon fight. Not sure if it looks like we're not going to be joined by So for an interview. But we'll see if Adalor or Deep Fried are interested in coming in to chat about this absolute garbage fire placement. And we're seeing that Deep Fried has progressed to phase 3 of the Ganon fight, with blue mail, 16 hearts, gold sword, and silver arrows. It's pretty free unless you get caught by one of those fire bats. And make sure to drop a follow to our runners today. We got a great show put on for us by all 4 of our runners: High Ruler, So15, Adalor, and Deep Fried.
And we finally see the PowerPoint slide where he beats Ganon.
It looks like we're maybe going to get a little bit of NMG practice from So down there as we as we finish up the stream here.
And it looks like Deep Fried finished in 4th place on the race stream at 15th overall with a time of 1 hour 59:04.
And honestly, all 4 of our runners getting a sub 2 on that seed, very impressive.
Yeah, this seed was kind of mean. And we are joined by Deep Fried 87. Well done, sir.
That seed was so rude.
It was mean.
That fire rod in Hera basement, lamp locked by Spike Cave. That's so mean. And I felt so behind because I last locationed Mitts, and I felt so behind. Started trying to make plays, and I needed to make a play, just didn't make the right one.
Yeah, that was the story for a lot of the seed. Fortunately, you didn't fall victim to the classic blunder of Ice Palace.
No, I went to Ice Palace too.
The tracker didn't show that you beat Ice Palace.
I didn't beat it. I got 3 items and bounced. And I knew that since either Cane or Fire Rod was going to be my go mode, that there was no way that Head was going to be required. So I bounced into Ice Head, got the 3 checks done, and then just went, well, nope, and out.
Yeah. The seed kind of did that. Normally, I was saying in our earlier interview that the Ice Rod is normally the latecomer, but we found that relatively early in the seed in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, that was a fun one though. It was just one of those things that I'm looking. I found Book and I went, oh god, Book. All right, I guess I check Hera basement while it's there. It seems to bite me frequently in races, and sure enough, there was Fire Rod. And you needed Fire Rod to get Cane, so it was just that was such a mess.
It was not a great seed, and the fact that we all of our recent runners got sub 2s is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I'm thrilled I got sub 2.
I mean, the thing is, so we were sort of mentioning as people were finishing up, right? That like the logical chain is mean, but once you've done every other check, right, which you're gonna do because it just makes more sense to do those checks first. After that, once you are, once you're down to it, the game does tend to funnel you straight into those final 2 items, but you're in go mode -2 for half an hour in that seed.
Yeah, and it was like, all right, I was like, okay, I got Lamp. Let's start doing the checks that only Lamp can open, because I'm like, all right, I was so late on Mitts. I last locationed it in what was it, K45?
K45, yep.
And it's like, okay, let's check Desert, because that's, I need to beat it, and it's Fire Rock. It's Fire Lock. Okay, let's check Mire, because it's Fire Locked, and I'm hoping that somebody else just last location, or Spike Cave's one that you usually end up putting off near the end, so it was just, nope, I just made the wrong fire check.
Yeah, you and So had pretty similar thought process. It appeared on that. The main difference was So happened to go south out of Village of